Help! I'm drowning in content! Hey, have you been playing RuneScape for just a little bit and you just can't quite figure out what's the best thing to do to bring your account forward into the mid-game? Let me help you with that. Hey, I'm WeSkill now, and today we're training a little bit of agility in the background while I talk about today's topic. The top 10 goals to bring your account from the early game in OSRS to the mid-game. Hey, while I've got you, I would totally appreciate it if you took a second to click the subscribe button. But wait, what's the purpose of this video? Now, I'm about to put a list out in front of you of early game goals. The purpose of the video is not necessarily to be motivational for people who have already completed it, but if you've already completed this list, congratulations, you're in the mid-game, probably. It's also not a tool to be used to judge other people's progress or even your own. The purpose of this video is to help new players who are kind of lost in their adventure. What do I do to progress? How do I get out of the early game and into the mid game? Like, there's all kinds of stuff to do, but I get it. It's a sandbox game and there's a lot to do, and it would just be really helpful to have a list of things to do. So I prepared one today and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. And hey, number 10 is gonna blow your mind. Just kidding. But let me take a second to tell you how to use this list. This list is kind of in order of easiest to hardest, but I think it would actually be somewhat rare that someone actually completed it naturally in order. If you just happen to complete it in order, wow, well, that's kind of interesting. But you could also just kind of treat this list as a checklist, you know? Do one thing, think, oh, well, actually, there's something further down on the list that I haven't done yet. Go back and do it. This early game list is engineered to not take you thousands of hours to complete. Rather, it's intentionally designed so that you can get some easy, quick wins, so that you can enjoy yourself while playing the game, while unlocking lots of more content, introducing you to more concepts in the game, so that you can naturally just have your knowledge of the game grow and you can get to playing. Now, one very, very powerful thing that you can do in order to accomplish your goals is to write them down. And guess what? The webpage that you're on right now has a comment section. So if you are in the early game of OSRS, write down which step you're on. What are you working on this list to progress your account? Write it down. Once you complete it, come back to this video and let me know that you completed it. I would be ecstatic if I actually helped someone by making this video. Seriously. Now, there are others of my viewers who are no longer in the early game, so I want your help in the comment section critiquing this list. What could be better? What would be an easy thing but unlock a lot of stuff for new players that you think should be on this list instead? I'd be really interested to hear. Thanks. Now, last of all, I took the time to prepare an entire slideshow of every single step with every single item, or, you know, a little visual aid. So since I took the time to do this, please take the time to click the like button on this video and let's get started on this list. This video is part of a small series. I'm going to do another video for mid-game players and end-game players too. So those videos are coming soon. If they're already out, check those out too. But today we are looking at the top 10 goals for early game players. These are going to be a series of awesome things to do to progress your account into the mid-game. Now, what's number 1? First of all, on this list, I want you to get to 50 quest points. Honestly, that is kind of a big number, but I really want to get you out into the game and exploring. There are other things on this list that are going to point you towards certain quests, but, you know, if you just go out there, you know, do Romeo and Juliet or something, just get your quest points up. It's going to help you a lot. Number 2, get some easy diaries done. In particular, one of the very first things that I would suggest you do is focus on getting the already easy diary done. Let me just show you where the diary icon is in game. There's a symbol that's left of your inventory. It starts as a blue one. Look, you click on it, there's 4 tabs here. Click on the green one here. These are the achievement diaries. Achievement diaries are a list of tasks that you can do per area in the game, and they give you really, really good rewards. The very first one on the list is Ardoon, or depending on how you pronounce it, you know, whatever you want. Do every single task here in this first easy list. he gives you a really, really good reward. It gives you a cape that gives you a teleport, and it's just a really handy thing for early game accounts. And it'll help you explore the game a little bit. Other easy diaries that would be really awesome for you to complete include Karamja and Lumbridge, I would say in particular. I think those are really awesome, and they give you really good rewards. All right, number 3, I want you to get an entire 100,000 GP bank value. You don't necessarily have to have that cash stack, but start accumulating some items and get your bank value up to around 100k. This is just going to be the very start of your money-making journey, and you'll appreciate having some cash around or some things that you'll be able to trade for cash so you can get what you want in the future. Most experienced players, when they start a new account, they get their first 10k by going to something called the Stronghold of Security. You're going to want to look that up, and one thing that's required for you to get the rewards from the Stronghold of Security is to have 2-factor authentication set up on your account. So, you know, that's just good practice anyway. So go do that for your account, and then go to the Stronghold of Security, get your first 10k, just straight up. Kind of broken, kind of good. It's really awesome. Number 4 is called milestone/area quests. Now, I've got Elvarg the Dragon on this picture here. Elvarg is somewhat of a mascot of RuneScape. So many people in the world have gone into an epic battle with Elvarg, and just people that don't even play the game anymore. But if you've never done this before, definitely go experience it. Elvarg is considered the boss, the end game of the free-to-play area. So she's the boss of the quest Dragon Slayer. This is what I'm talking about. This is a milestone quest in my mind. You're going to want to complete Dragon Slayer before you're going to be able to be considered a mid-game player. And you're going to get some quest points for that. So I don't know if I said this already, but number 4 and number 1, they kind of go together. You can kind of be knocking out 2 birds with one stone here by doing certain quests. What do I mean by area quests? There's certain quests in this game that unlock good new areas for you to be able to explore. Definitely one that comes to mind is Priest in Peril, but there's a lot of other ones that just like unlock transportation methods and just the ability to travel in other areas a lot easier. How about the Gnome Stronghold is another really good one. You may want to check out the Fremennik Trials as well. And on to number 5 on this list is 500 total skill. Now that is admittedly getting to be a pretty big number. It's going to be somewhat intimidating for an early game player, especially if this is their first account, right? To be getting up to this amount of total skill. And let me just backtrack for a second. In case you don't know what total skill refers to, if you go over to the skills tab down here, it's this little bar graph with the red, green, and blue bar. All of these skills are the skills that are in the game, and if you add your levels up, it shows the total amount in this bottom right corner here. That's your total skill. I guess I probably should have written total level down on this slide, but yeah, well, we're just gonna leave it. We're doing it live. One of the aspects of the game that I think is really important to explore is what I consider to be like the meat of the game. That's the skills. As your skills get higher, you legitimately feel like you're getting stronger. Your character's definitely getting stronger, gaining more abilities. So I want you to experience the different skills, train them a little bit here and there, just kind of get a taste of them. And before you know it, you'll be at 500. Get 50 wood cutting, get 50 fire making, train up your fishing and stuff like that. Just go out into the game and get some experience in various skills. Number 6 is another skill milestone. Now that you've hit 500, there's definitely a few skills that you might have left completely untouched. You started construction, didn't really get it. What's the point of this? It's kind of expensive. You got like level 5 construction, right? I want you to take a look at your lowest skills and just choose one, bump it up to 30. Eventually get to the point where your lowest skill is level 30. That's what the community refers to having base 30 stats. It's one of my favorite targets to shoot for on any account. If you look at my stats in game currently, I have base 80s. And the reason I have base 80s is because I made a specific goal to get base 80s. If you can't figure out a certain skill, there's all kinds of resources on YouTube that will help you train your skills. Just search 1 to 99 OSRS and then whatever skill it is, and you'll have tons of videos that will be really helpful for you, even training those early levels. Number 7, top 10 goals for early game. I want you to focus on transportation. So there's a couple of different ways to increase your ability to move in the game. You don't want to be walking around the entire map the whole time that you're playing. One big piece of transportation in this game is your magic skill. Train your magic level up so that you can teleport to, the rock whenever you want. That's the level 25 skill right here. Level 31, Lumbridge, Camelot, Falador's over here at 37. I think it'd be really good to get to level 51 magic so that you can teleport to Artie whenever you want. It's a really big city that's got a lot of content in it. But if you're able to teleport to places, it's going to be really good for you. There's other ways to travel in this game too. Some of them are unlocked through quests. So I think I mentioned Tree Gnome Village earlier. I said something, I don't know. But the Tree Gnome Village quests unlock some really good transportation. They're called spirit trees, but then also they unlock gnome gliders. I don't actually use gnome gliders all that much, but it's really good to have the option. I went over to the quest tab right now with the blue symbol. Go through the fairy tale quest series up until the point where you unlock a transportation system called fairy rings. That's a really powerful way to travel to, it's fairy rings. And then one last thing that comes to mind is Xeric's talisman. That's spelled Xeric. I would Google that, Xeric's talisman OSRS, and figure out how to get that. It's not that easy, but it's totally worth it to have. One of my favorite items, honestly. I love what that's able to do. There's pieces of jewelry in the game that are really good. Dual rings. It's an enchanted emerald ring, a glory amulet. These things you can buy on the Grand Exchange that aren't that expensive, but gives you tons of teleports. And you don't even need to have magic levels to use those. Number 8 is getting yourself over to Fossil Island and unlocking the content over there. There's a picture of a birdhouse on there. A birdhouse is a really good hunter training method. Hunter is a skill down here. It's one of the last skills. A lot of people complain about training hunter at the early levels, and birdhouses are a great way to train hunter. So it's a pretty good idea to get on over to Fossil Island. The quest that you have to do to unlock Fossil Island is called Bon Voyage. It's right here on the list. And there's some other content too, like ammonite crabs, but if you're like a really early game player, you might not be ready for ammonite crabs yet. Fossil Island's really good to unlock anyway. Number 9. I've got the word graceful right there. That refers to the armor or the clothes that guy is wearing. That's a full graceful set. I think it's really good to train your agility up on rooftop courses where you specifically are doing the rooftop courses and collecting marks of grace. Honestly, this one takes a long time. It's, in my opinion, not that very fun of a grind, but the reward is well worth it. Having full graceful is very important for many aspects of the game. A lot of people spend a long time wearing their graceful outfit, and you'll find out why. It makes you be able to run for a lot longer than you would otherwise. And even though we spent some time focusing on transportation, teleports aren't going to get you everywhere in the game, and you will have to spend a decent amount of time running no matter what. Finally, number 10. Number 10 is I've got a few pieces of equipment here that I would suggest that early game players get before they could consider themselves to be mid-game players. But a couple of these things are decently hard to do. So if you get yourself a dragon scimitar, you have to do a pretty hard quest. It's called Monkey Madness. And here it is on the list, Monkey Madness 1. Sorry, yeah, they changed the name when the sequel came out, I guess. The reward for Monkey Madness is the ability to use a dragon scimitar. It's a really good weapon for the early game, before you have access to better things. Another good piece of equipment to get is called a fighter torso. This one's an untradeable item, so you do have to play the minigame in order to get it. The minigame that rewards it. It's called Barbarian Assault, and you have to play the different roles and earn points in the different roles in order to be able to buy the fighter torso. The fighter torso is really, really good because it is one of the first chest plates that you can wear that offers a strength bonus. And strength bonus is one of the most important things in all of RuneScape when it comes to melee combat. So getting a fighter torso is really, really good. Along those same lines, I would suggest getting a Neitiznot helmet. I mentioned doing Fremennik Trials earlier, and that's the prequel to the quest Fremennik Isles. That's the quest that you need to do in order to get a Neitiznot helmet. It's another helmet that offers some strength bonus. Really good things to have. All right, that's it for my 10 things on this list. Now, disclaimer for this video, you could have every single one of these things done and still suck at the game. You could have none of these things done and be an expert. It does definitely depend on your account build and just like your general experience in the game anyway. So that's why I said if you're totally lost and you haven't done some of these things, definitely try some of these things out. This video is definitely experimental. It would be amazing if I found out that this video somehow helped someone someday. So if that person's you, do whatever it takes to let me know that this video helped you. I'm serious. I do want to know that like what I'm doing here is worthwhile and you know, what's the point otherwise? Now, if you want to interact with me in real time, I do stream live over on Twitch, and you can help me feel better about myself by following me on Twitter. There's links to all of my stuff in the description below. There's also a Discord and a subreddit as well. If you made it this far into the video and you still haven't subscribed, I don't know what to say, man. Geez. I guess it's okay, but like, I would appreciate it if you did. Thanks. That's it for this video, and I will see you in the top 10 mid-game goals to get yourself into the end game in the next video. We'll see you later.